What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the first ever episode of The Sixth Sense. I'm your host, Brett, and you may know me from my basketball account at Basketball Studios. And today we're kicking it off with somebody that I've been following for a really long time. We've had intermittent conversations here and there, probably over the past couple of years. He has over 4 million subscribers on YouTube, is known for his vlogs, his pranks, his challenges, and some of his basketball content. And whenever quarantine's over, you know pretty damn well that he's probably going to be at your local gym, dropping the last point at the game of 21. And he goes by the name Brandon, aka Brawadis. So Brandon, thank you for taking the time today. I'm joined with my producer, Alex, and Brandon. Alex, just give everybody a little background on who you are.
Shalom, everyone. I'm Alex Himes. I'm a sports radio host out here. I work at Fox Sports. I'm a diehard Celtic fan. You can find all my stuff online at HymesLA, HYMESLA. Yes, that's my last name. No, it's not made up. And it's a pleasure to join you guys and shoot the – wait, this is uncensored, right?
Yeah.
All right, shoot the shit. There we go.
All right. How you doing? How's all this quarantine? Just tell me what's up.
Man, I'm good. Thank you guys for having me. Before we start, I just want to say thank you for the support. Like he said, he's been following me for years, and I appreciate that. I've never done a podcast, so I'm a little bit nervous, but I figured if I am going to hop on one, why not give someone who's been following me for a long time, why not give his podcast a shot? So that's what I'm doing here today. Yeah, of course. Quarantine stuff is crazy. Number one thing I miss is obviously going to the gym and playing basketball. But on the bright side, luckily, since I make YouTube videos and I work from home, I'm lucky enough to still be working and still be making money throughout all this. So I'm obviously blessed for that, and that's the most important thing.
Yeah, I'm like personally, whenever it comes to like the quarantine and all that, like I see so many people say either on Instagram, Snapchat, whatever social media, and it's like there's so many people that are in such a more fortunate situation that are complaining, acting like there's nobody else that's like having it worse. Like there's actual people out there, that aren't able to make ends meet right now.
Yeah.
Yet at the same time, it's like I've been taking this whole quarantine as like an opportunity to just almost have like a sense of gratitude of the fact that, I'm not in trouble. I'm still making money. There's like unemployment, yada, yada, yada. But yeah, man, I just want to hop into it real quick. Kind of just start from the beginning. So with this whole like Sixth Sense podcast is mostly about people who didn't really like follow the system as far as like the encouraged thing in society is go to school 4 to 6 years, then get a 9-to-5 job. Yeah, you're somebody, your brother as well, that like they went the other route and built a name for themselves and are making money doing social media, which are a lot of older people that might turn their head. So what were you doing as a kid, just so you can relate it to some of your fans? Like, what were you doing, jobs? What was your hobbies like as like maybe 12 to 18 years old?
Okay. When I was younger, like really young, ages 12 to like 15, I was just all about basketball, whether it was playing or watching. And I knew when I grew up, whatever it may be, I wanted it to do something with basketball. Probably not playing the NBA because I just didn't have those genes. But I knew that I wanted to either be a reporter, writer, just something with NBA media. So I put all my focus towards that. I ended up going to college after I graduated high school. I was studying, communications, media studies, journalism, stuff like that. And I just wanted to work for the NBA. I worked regular jobs, just like I'm sure a lot of people watching this podcast, listening today. I worked at Subway. Subway was my first job when I was 16, 17 years old. I worked there, sandwich artist, making sandwiches. While going to college, I was going to college full-time and working part-time. I quit Subway, and I ended up working for a grocery store. I was a bagger, pushing carts all day. I worked there part-time, once again, because I was going to school full-time, trying to get my degree. Communications, media studies. And what happened at my grocery store one day was a new company bought out the grocery store, and they decided that they wanted to hire their own staff. So they laid off all the baggers. They didn't lay off any managers or high-end people, but they laid off all the little baggers and people who would push the cars. So I was one of the people who got laid off. Instead of looking for a new job I decided to start up a YouTube channel where I would just talk about sports, talk about basketball. That didn't work out too well. I guess what I learned from that was I love basketball, but if you want to make it big on YouTube or social media, you don't necessarily do what you love. You kind of have to tend to the audience. So I started doing more vlogs and pranks and challenges, and I was still going to college full time. So I was just trying to balance this and that. Luckily, I blew up on YouTube eventually to the point where I stopped going to school and I didn't have to look for another job, and YouTube became my career, became my main source of income, became my job. I was doing it every single day. I uploaded daily videos for years and years and years. And luckily, thankfully, I was blessed enough to make a career off that. And here I am today making videos to entertain my fans every single day.
It's crazy because I've kind of like been there to see the evolution as far as like you, I remember like watching some videos and you were still doing stuff in college.
Yeah.
I think maybe it was like, I don't want to assume anything, but it was maybe at that point where it's like, all right, the income might not be enough to where I can just say whatever. Like I might still need that college, but like somebody like me, and as you guys can see, like my producer, he's on the screen right now. We're kind of in that same exact point where it's like we're trying to, we're kind of in that stage of like getting over the hump as far as we're doing this as a hobby and then making it a career. Yeah, and I just want to congratulate you for that fact that you were able to just like switch. And
thank you.
When was that moment where it was like, I don't know if it was a certain somebody said something, like as far as I know you met up with the Suns for the first time, but when was that moment where it was like, this is all becoming real?
Okay, so yeah, like I said, and like you touched up on, I didn't want to just start my YouTube channel and stop going to college at the same time, because you never know, what if YouTube wasn't going to work out?
Yeah.
So I stayed in college, stayed going to class full time while trying to make videos every single day. And me in my life, whether it was middle school, high school, or college, I had never failed a class, never got a D, never got an F in my life. So when I started doing YouTube and I was going to college, I started to notice my grades were slipping a little bit. And I was just like, I've never done something that took up as much time as making YouTube videos while also going to school. So I pretty much I was super stressed out at this point, because it kind of hit me that if I keep doing this, I'm going to fail my college classes. So I kind of have to pick one or the other.
Yeah.
And it stressed me out for a really long time, because obviously the parents, my mom and dad, want me to stay in college. But I was growing pretty fast on YouTube. So I kind of was just like, you know what? I don't want to fail my classes. I can't do both of this at once. I'm going to pick YouTube. And luckily, thankfully, yes, it worked out. I got a lot of help from the Suns, like Devin Booker. Once I started growing on YouTube, I'm a huge Suns fan. For those who don't know, I love the Phoenix Suns. So once I started to make a name for myself, get some followers, and have a little bit of a fan base, Devin Booker noticed me, and I'm a huge D-Book fan. So I linked up with him. We made some videos together. I have a couple videos on my channel. He came to my house. I went to his house. That helped my brand grow. My brother is in FaZe Clan. You guys know, I'm sure a lot of you know, FaZe is a really big, they used to just be a gaming team, but now
FaZe up.
Yeah. They do all sorts of different stuff. They have a lot of fans of, all ages, and they have fans all over the world. So my brother being in FaZe, we started collabing, making videos together. So I put all my eggs into one basket. I stopped going to school and started up a YouTube channel, put all my focus on there. All my focus to the point where my parents were telling me like, yo, you're crazy. Like, put the laptop down, put the camera down, take it easy. And I was just like, no, if I stop going to school, I got to make sure this works.
Yeah.
Like, I can't let this fail. And now here we are today.
That's something I noticed, like, because you upload like what 15 to 20-minute videos every single day, and like how you were saying, as far as your parents telling you to put the laptop down, put the phone down, put the camera down. Like, say Alex and I, we always are like, we might FaceTime during maybe like an NBA trade deadline where we have to push out content where it's just like, all right, somebody's getting traded, we need to make something real quick, or we're trying to make a video, and then every day it's like we're trying to make sure that we work a lot. And then for you especially, like I've noticed, like I'll look at like a Snapchat story and you're up at 3:38 in the morning editing. Like, how do you keep that balance of not getting burnt out yet, like just being able to daily upload literally almost every single day for like the past 4 to 5 years?
So like I said, when I made the decision to put all my eggs into one basket and stop going to school, I pretty much knew that if this YouTube thing didn't work out, I would just kind of look like a fool, and it would just be a waste of a couple of years that I didn't have to waste. And I didn't want to look back and think that I made a mistake. So I worked my butt off. Like,
you can say it.
Yeah, I worked my ass off every single day, to the point where I would walk into the house with my camera and my family would just be like, dude, you don't need to record everything. And like, got to the point where actually after like 2 or 3 years of recording every single day, like Brett said, they're 20-minute videos on YouTube. That's after the cut and edit. Yeah, these are hour-long things that I'm filming, and they come out to 20 minutes, but I'm holding my camera hours and hours of the day. Got to the point where I was doing that every day for 2 to 3 years, just because I was so passionate and I would work so hard and upload so much, because I didn't want this to fail. I really wanted, I didn't want to look back and realize I made a mistake not to go to college. So it got to the point after like 2 or 3 years of uploading every day where I started getting sick. I would be so stressed to the point where I had to go to the doctors a couple of times. And you had people in my ear, like my mom and dad, and even the doctor, like, yo, like, you might think YouTube is an easy job, but nobody works 7 days a week. You need like 1 or 2 days off. And I would just tell them, I would say, no, I'm not big enough yet. My views aren't where I want them to be. Once I get bigger, once my views start to improve, then I'll take a couple of days off. So finally, at the start of 2020, after 4.5 years of uploading almost every single day, luckily, I'm blessed enough to have my views have been going up, my subscribers have been going up. And just the other day, I went up to my mom and dad, because I started uploading a little bit less now, taking a little bit more days off. And I went up to my mom and dad and I told them, I said, this is the time period I've been talking about for the last 5 years. Every time you guys would tell me to relax and slow down, I wasn't going to relax and slow down when my videos were getting a couple thousand views and my subs weren't where I wanted to be. So finally, this year, 2020, my views are actually really good, at least in my head, and my subscribers are growing.
What, like 1.5 million on like your past 30 videos or more?
Yeah. Yeah, I just hit a crazy milestone that I never thought would happen, where every single video I uploaded in April surpassed 1 million views. The worst video I had in April had 1 million. I had some that hit 2 million. And to me, that's when, and I'm not satisfied, I still want to keep growing, but to me, hitting 1 million views on every single video that I upload was enough for me to kind of be like, yo, I don't need to upload every single day, but I'm going to upload 4 to 5 days a week. So I still work 4 to 5 days a week. But finally, this is the time I was looking for the last 5 years. This is what I worked my butt off for.
You mentioned that, you were doing videos more to cater to your audience, Would you say that you're now at that point with the growth where you can start doing, and not to say that you're not doing videos already that are more so what you want, but are you going, or do you want or plan to start doing more videos that you want as opposed to what caters to the audience?
Okay, that's actually a really good question, because you see, if it were up to me, my videos every single day, I would wake up, pick a basketball up, and start shooting. I love basketball. The bad thing about that, not everybody likes basketball. It's such a strict to the point, like not everyone is a sports fan, and let alone if you are a sports fan, there's so many sports out there for you to like. So I think if I was content with my views being 1 million every single video, then I would start making videos that I like. But I'm the type of person who's never really satisfied. So the 1 million views per video, it's cool for now, but I want to let that go up. When is 2 million views a video going to hit? 2.5 million views, 3 million views. I never want to stop growing. I never want to be satisfied. So to answer your question, no, I still try to make videos that my audience, and I'm always asking questions on social media, like, would you guys rather see this or that? Do you guys want me to do this and that? I've realized that this career, being a YouTuber, is more, you do what your fans want. And at the end of the day, your fans they're the only reason that I'm who I am today. They're the only reason I have what I have today. So why not listen to them and give them the content they want to see?
Speaking of fans, I know you've had many. I mean, they're not even fans, but you've had many situations with just people that are aware of who you are. What There are stuff that is documented that I know of, but is there any story that you can maybe give to where it wasn't documented, it wasn't talked about? Like, what's just the craziest, just like, I don't know. You know what I'm trying to say though. What's the craziest you
Is
have?
this more so from the haters and something bad, or more so crazy fans that just love you so much?
Okay. We can go
Both.
like haters, yeah.
Both.
Let's go both. Okay, let's start with haters, and then we can go like what's just the craziest like mega fan moment.
Okay. So in terms of haters, there's been a lot, like you said, documented. When I purchased my dream car, which was a BMW i8, this was like 2 or 3 years ago. I loved that car since I was a kid. Never did I think I would actually have it in my possession. It was just one of those cars that you dream of as a little kid that you see in movies and commercials and stuff. You don't actually think you would ever buy it. I worked my butt off for like 3 years, and I ended up buying it, $150,000 car. And some dude came to my house because my address got leaked on the internet one day. Some dude comes to my house, huge rock when I'm not home, and smashes it through my brand new i8 that I didn't even have for a couple weeks at that time. And that's just the beginning. I mean, there was that. That's when it kind of hit me like, dude, because in my head, I'm more of a, like, I always try to not put myself down, but, you know, I don't put myself, regardless of how big I get, I'll never see myself as like celebrity or like superstar status. So when I realized like someone came to my house and smashed my car, I was like, dude, who am I? Like, I'm Brandon Awadis. Like, I'm not some big dude. Like, I'm not some superstar celebrity. But that's when it kind of started to hit me like, bro, Brandon, like, you are growing and not everybody's going to like you. You have a name for yourself now and you have haters out there. So that's when I started to be a little more aware of like, I have a name for myself. Somebody actually, this was just a couple months ago. I bought a new car, McLaren, and I love McLarens.
So you're a car guy.
Yeah, I spent like $215,000 on that. Some dude came by, and he was making a TikTok, and he ran up on my car and he drop kicked it, and then he took his pants off and he rubbed his nuts all over my car.
Oh my!
He posted that on TikTok. And actually, the reason I'm at this house, I just moved here a couple months ago. I used to live on my own. Now I moved back in with my mom and dad. I lived on my own. I'm sure Brett knows about this. It was all on video. But there was a couple of dudes who actually tried to break into my house. So I was living alone, just me and my dog. No friends, no family, nothing. So they tried to break into my home. I had security gates all over my house, but there was one window that didn't have security gates because it was double layered, so it was really hard to get through. So we just didn't put gates on that window. Mm-hmm. And believe it or not, they tried to come in that certain window. So that's how I knew these were people who had planned it previously. They came into my backyard, put a ladder up to that one window that didn't have gates on it. And I'm not sure what they broke the glass with, but I don't think they knew it was double layered because they broke through the first section of glass. And that's when I heard the glass break. So I called the cops. I'm in my room. I didn't know if these people were in the house or if they were still in the backyard. I just heard glass break. I didn't know where they were. They could have been right outside my door. They could have been in the backyard. They could have left. I didn't know. I just heard glass break. So I called the cops. Yo, I think there's people in my house. And the cops ended up coming, and they confirmed that there were dudes in the backyard trying to break in, but they couldn't get in, so they left. And that's when my mom and dad were like,
holy
crap,
you're
man. Moving right here. You're coming right back with us. So, you know, despite all those things happening, it still hasn't really hit me that I am a public figure and I have haters out there. Because like I said, I mean, I have a tattoo right here, and it's just stay humble. I just always tell myself, like, I'm not a big name. I'm Brandon. Like, I'm a normal person, but I think I do need to start thinking of myself more like more of a bigger name, because sometimes it puts myself in danger. For example, the house I was living at, it had no gate, it had no security guard. But yeah, those are some of the craziest hate experiences I've had. I've had sometimes, like when I go to the mall or to events, there's people shouting stuff about like my family and my mom, my dad, which makes me mad. But I guess it just comes with it. You can't complain about that, because if you're complaining about that, and that just it comes with it. You got to accept that, and there's not one single person who's out there, whether you're celebrity, athlete, movie star, whatever, who's big time and doesn't get hate.
It's almost
I respect
the
that. I respect what you have to say, man, about staying humble. Like, it's important to keep that mentality of just being a human being in who you are and not losing yourself in it. And not many people understand that. So, like, I give you a lot of respect for that and a lot of kudos to you, because a lot of people get caught up in the moment, the money, the fame, the fortune, whatever it may be, even like for comparison purposes, like having an NBA player sign his first big contract and going wild with it, or just coming up on YouTube like any other person could do if they put in the work. And to your credit, you've said it right. Like, you stay humble and you try and treat yourself like a human, and also look at other people on a similar level.
Thank you. Yeah. And that, what helps me stay that way is the more YouTubers I meet, the more I realize that they're not like that. And I look at them and I'm like, I don't want to be like that. Like, so that helps me stay humble. There's a lot of YouTubers, because YouTube, like, we won't get into the specifics, but it does pay well, especially when you're getting these views and you're getting a bunch of subscribers. YouTube pays well, so it's easy to get caught up in the fame, and not to mention, like, YouTube is pretty much the new TV. So you're these new, like, movie stars. And like, for example, for myself, if I go to the mall for 1 hour, I'm not leaving until I take like 10 to 12 pictures with fans. Like, you can't go anywhere without being recognized. So it's easy to let it go to your head. But me and my brother both, that's also who I get it from, looking at my brother. He's super humble too. We just try to tell ourselves, like, no, we don't need that, like, big persona and big ego. Like, just stay humble, know where you came from. Like I said, I worked at Subway. I was a bagger at a grocery store. And the funny thing is, I keep my uniforms from those jobs just so I could always look at and remember where I started from.
I got my uniforms from the deli that I worked at. I have my like, I used to work as a guy who did urine drug sample testing, right? So I did that. I worked at a Jewish deli out here in LA. Like, I keep those because it tells you, just like you said, you know the level, you know where you were, and you're just going up from there, but you keep that mentality.
Yeah, thank you.
And that's like, I've noticed that about you a lot, is like, there's the side of YouTubers that whenever they get so big, for one, they start acting like they use their channel as almost a commercial for themselves. So they'll make a 10-minute video. They have the highest amount of energy. They act like their life is great. And it's almost like a way of, like, look how great my life is. And, like, it's almost like, I hope you dream of having my lifestyle, to where I feel like with you, it's always just been like, this is just my life. And of course, like, yeah, you're going to have the nicer car. Why? Because you have more money to get it. But you never act like it's because you're on this, like, different step of life than anybody else. And even like with me, or I mean, Himes as well, like, no matter how much success we get, we still have, like, those friends from, like, childhood that you always want to bring with you. Like, you want to keep your circle close. And I noticed with you, it's like, you don't get caught up in, like, I'm going to ditch my old friends. I'm going to go get some 10 million subscriber YouTube friends, like, because that's just not the way to go. So I just want to say, like, I respect you a lot for that.
Can I tell you guys a story real quick?
Yeah.
I know this isn't about me, I know, but this is important to me because it really does relate. All right, so I went to college in Lexington, Kentucky. Shout out to D-Book, UK family, all of those guys, right? And while I was there, I was the only Jewish kid at my university, right? I went to a small liberal arts school in the heart of Lexington, right? So I'm trying to find the people that I want to hang out with and the people I want to befriend, right? Across the street from my university is this barbershop called Fades, right? I spent, I think, at least 4 days a week at this barbershop for 3-4 hours at a time sometimes, and even started filming shows at that barbershop talking about sports because I fell in love with it. I fell in love with the people there, and it felt like home. And they always made it a point to help me out in any way, shape, or form that they could. And to this day, I keep sending them messages and telling them I'm so blessed to have them in my life. And, like, part of the reason why I bring it up is yesterday I found out that, so Fades has this bad lucky streak with cars smashing into the barbershop. And they had a third car smash into it yesterday, right? And it broke my heart because I wanted to make sure everyone was okay. I wanted to make sure that they could still be working. And it's just one of those things where it's like, to me, that is still home in a way. Like, I have my home that I grew up in. I have my home where my family is and my friends are. that's family and that's another home.
Yeah.
You know?
No, that definitely, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, that kind of, and I know barbershops especially, it's a good environment. Like they're funny, they talk to you, you could conversate. I know what you mean. It kind of like you can make friends there.
It's unintentional therapy, really, what I've looked at it as. It's the truth, because like things that I wouldn't normally talk about with my friends, right? I'll go to that barbershop and I will tell everything to the barber, and then everyone that's in there will hear it by de facto, and I'll just get the opinions.
Yeah, no, for real.
Brandon, so I was wanting to ask you, because I know with the social media life, like no matter a certain amount of fame you get, for one, like you get the hate comments. At first it's like you wonder why you're getting it, and then you kind of understand, like, I knew that I was doing something good whenever somebody sent me a message and told me to take my life. Like that's whenever I was kind of like, that's whenever I was like, all right, like my impact, it's like at a certain point where people want to take me down in that certain way.
Yeah.
Has there been like that moment where, I mean, I guess with your cars, it's at that point where it's like, it's almost the worst way possible to be told that you're successful. Yeah, I mean, is there, and I was also trying to think of like, is there anything with all the hate that you get? Because I know like with every YouTuber, with the you know, with the healthy grass, there's the dead grass. Where is there any comment that irks you the most, that like, it's like you want to clear a name in a certain type of way? Like what's the narrative that people might paint that you kind of like don't want to be there? If there is any.
So I mean, me and my brother get so much hate on a daily basis that at this point, like every night we'll be sending hate comments back and forth to each other, like laughing at it. Before it wasn't like that.
I love that.
Yeah, at this point it's like, dude, someone's gonna message me like, bro, I hope you die, and I hope this person comes with you, and I hope you blah blah blah, and it's just like, it's just funny at this point. But if there's one thing that I kind of ticks me off, and obviously I don't really get this anymore, but when I first started YouTube, having a brother that was in FaZe Clan,
I figured it was going to be that.
Yeah, because having a brother that was in FaZe Clan, FaZe being so big, you know, and me starting to get big, it just automatically came to, oh, you're only big because you have a brother in FaZe. And and of course, I don't really get it anymore, because at this point, I've built a whole name for myself. And now people know, like, okay, this is Brandon. This is not the FaZe guy's brother. But before, it just pissed me off so much, because my whole thing that I would tell myself was, I want to like build my name by myself. I don't want no handouts. I don't want no shout outs. So I would never ask my brother for help. I would never go to my brother and say, dude, like, can you shout my channel out? Never. I wanted to do everything myself. So I would make videos with my friends, and I would make videos with my cousins. I would try to stay away from making videos with my brother, just so, you know, a little mental thing to say, like, I didn't need anybody's help, really. And so that's why that kind of makes me mad, because I know myself, I worked so hard without the help of anybody to get as big as I got. But, I mean, at the same time, it's like, it's just, you know, people are going to say things no matter what, especially when they know it's going to piss you off. For example, now me saying that here, people are going to say it more and more. But it doesn't really faze me at this point. No pun intended.
I was about to say no pun intended.
Yeah. No, but yeah, that was the number one thing. People would say, oh, you only got big because of your brother, or you're only big because your brother's in FaZe. And then, you know, you go through my channel and I don't have any videos with my brother, and I don't ask him to shout my channel out and things like that. But now
I noticed is like you're never in his videos that much. Like, of course, you're featured, but it's not like you're in there every single video, and it's not like you're using him in the title for every single video.
Exactly. Yeah. Now, and this is how I know I made it. So thank you to my brother for letting me know this way, is because he comes up to me and he's like, bro, can you be in my video today? Like, when I first started, it was never like that. Like, my brother would never ask me to be in his video. So now I kind of know, like, damn, okay, something's going for me. You know, my brother is asking me to be in his videos. But yeah, that's like the number one thing I say. It used to bother me, but now I don't really get that comment anymore.
Did that put a rift between you guys at all? Just as brothers?
No, because me and my brother have also, always been so close. I mean, we're only 1 year apart, so we've always been like so close that we would kind of just like laugh about it, because he knew himself, no matter what the comments say, living with me, he knew I would never ask him for like, dude, can you shout my channel out? Dude, can you plug my Instagram and YouTube, blah, blah, blah. So we knew it was just people trying to hate. But no, it never put a rift between us. Me and my brother, especially like the older I get and the more families I meet, the more different types of people I meet, I realized that me and my brother are actually like a lot closer than a lot of siblings are. So I'm happy to have like a really good relationship with my brother, because it's easy when you both have your own business in a sense, and you're both trying to make a name for yourself. It's easy to kind of like, it's easy to have a rift because you're both trying to do your separate thing, especially living in the same home. So I'm glad me and my brother make it work. We have a schedule. I help him out. He helps me out. And we actually have a really good relationship.
I think that's dope, because there's other families on YouTube, not going to name names, but it's like once one gains more clout, it's like there starts to become like a little battle in between that
competition, bro.
And I think that sucks, because like, even if obviously I don't have like a family member that's doing the same thing as me, but there'll be like people which, like, even though I only have like 52,000 followers, there's still like a little bit of a crowd that, like, I guess I could almost call a fan base. I'm like, I'll get DMs of, I think it was like 2 years ago, somebody was like, I want to make a basketball account. What do I do? I gave him tips. I was like, go ahead, be bigger than me. What? Next thing you know, he has twice as many followers as me. I hit him back and I was like, yo, I'm happy for you. Like, it's never a point where it's like, oh, go on your story and go give me credit right now that I gave you tips 2 years ago. So
it's the same thing that you and I talk about, Brett. Like, look, Brett, look what we're doing right now. I'm helping him in terms of the audio production in this. Whenever I have an event out here, he'll tell you, first thing I do is I text him saying I have this. Or if there's ever an opportunity for him to come to LA, like, he always knows that he has a place to stay on my couch. Like, it doesn't matter. The whole point of doing what we're doing is to help other people. If we have the ability to do so, like, I've been blessed to work hard and, like, make a freaking studio in my house, right? So with that opportunity, I want to be able to help other people, whether it's from graphic design work to advice to making videos. Like, that's what it's about. Yeah.
No, and I respect that, because that's kind of the same thing that me and my brother, like, our mindset is dude, like, we have the same last name. We're family. If one of us are doing big things, let everybody in the family. My mom and dad have a YouTube channel. They have over 1 million subs. We help them out. We're in their videos all the time.
Wait, what's their name?
Their name is Mama and Papa Rug. You'll find it. If you just type in Mama and Papa Rug. And then my cousins, you know, we help them build their Instagrams. Now they're getting deals. Yup. Thank you. Thank you.
And I just subscribed to you too, right as you said that. I was like, all right, got to do it.
Thank you, man. Yeah, that's the way me and my brother see it, bro. Why are me and Brian the only ones that should be doing good? We're the same family. Like, let my mom and dad grow, let my cousins grow, and just kind of help out the family. Like, you're the same. You have the same last name. You're blood. So why not see them do big things too?
What's the atmosphere like in the house, for the fact that there's like cameras everywhere pretty much? So, which I bet it's phenomenal. But is there any a certain point where it's like, yo, let me just like not have a camera? Or is it
always every day there's. So me and my brother, now we've made a schedule where we have opposite filming days. So we upload every other day. He filmed today. Now I'm gonna film tomorrow. So what that does is every single day there's a camera out, whether it's me or my brother. Every day there's a camera out. Then you have my parents, and they film randomly, maybe like 2-3 times a week. So on top of those days, you're going to have a couple of days where there's 2 cameras rolling. Mm-hmm. And it's like, it's every day you're going to get caught doing something where you're going to go a couple hours later, and I'm going to go to Brian and be like, bro, can you like not put that in your video? Or he's going to come to me and be like, wait, don't record that. Hold on. And it's just because and it's nothing bad. Like, for example, it could maybe be me on my laptop and I'm reading like a hate comment. And I'll just tell Brian, yo, I don't want haters to know that I'm giving them attention.
That's understandable too.
Yeah. So it's just an ongoing, like, there's no privacy, but I'll never complain about it because we're blessed enough to live the life we live. So it's going to come with some, cons, and dude, you can't complain about it, but it is definitely like, it's kind of like a reality TV show, to be honest, because there's cameras rolling. either in my mom and dad's hand, in my brother's hand, in my hand. My little cousin, who pretty much lives here, you know Anthony, right, bro?
Yeah, yeah.
He pretty much lives here. He spends the night like 5 days a week. He has a YouTube channel with 500,000 subscribers, so he's filming all the time, and it does get a little hectic. But at the same time, we kind of like, when we're not filming, we're like, dude, we miss like we love entertaining people. We love getting the feedback, and dude, we just devoted our whole life to it. So some days when me and my brother have the day off, we're like, dude, should we just record today? Like we've grown. Yeah, we've grown to get used to it, bro. Like, we love the camera. We love entertaining people. But sometimes it does get a little hectic. You don't know, any corner you turn in the house, there could be someone recording you. So
have you guys like considered doing those mean tweet style series where like you just sit there and like you're reading off mean tweets that people send you?
I've done reacting to my most popular hate comments. I did that a couple months ago.
You can do that.
That was pretty funny, yeah.
So wait, you're a Suns fan though, you mentioned, right?
Dude, I'm a
All right. Do you like Charles Barkley?
I like Charles Barkley. He was just a little bit before my time. Okay.
I made that. It's him getting his mugshot getting arrested in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and it says his famous quote, "I am not a role model." If you want one, I will happily print one and send you a copy on me.
Why not, bro? Why? I love anything that has to do with the sun.
All right, wait a sec. I'm going to make the note of that. I have to do it.
Thank you. Thank you. Charles does throw a little bit of shade on the Suns nowadays, but I mean, shit, who could blame him, bro?
Yeah, but he's also the same dude that got a joke made out of him at the NBA draft where a guy that I know sent the comment in like Charles Barkley with the #1 pick selects Krispy Kreme donuts.
Bro, that NBA TNT, just watching Shaq and him go back and forth.
It's the best, bro.
Ever.
It's the best, bro.
Welcome into the first episode of The Sixth Sense. We're talking about the environment around the household. And okay, this is something I've been waiting to ask you. It's a video idea, Brandon, all right? And I just need to make sure that you're down. So I know you have your streak of 1 million views per each video. Yeah. I think after this quarantine, since people are going to be out and about, the views might go down. So we need
Nancy.
We need a banger, all right?
Okay.
So I know your most viewed video is 9.8 million. You're burning your brother's Yeezys. Obviously they weren't the real ones. You burned a fake pair. All right. I think this is going to hit 15 million views. Now, you have immediate contact with Summer Rae, right?
Oh yeah.
All right. You, D-Book, Kendall Jenner, and Summer Rae need to go on a double date. What do you think?
Man,
after quarantine.
Mine and Summer's date might be a little bit easier to plan than having D-Book and Kendall on camera for a whole date. That would definitely, I think it would hit more than 15 mil, if we're being honest.
I'm saying 15 mil minimum.
Yeah, minimum. I mean, shit, mine and Summer Rae's date will give me 10 mil. And then Kendall and D-Book will give another 10. So, yeah, I just don't know how. Book, I'll get on the camera. Kendall, I don't know about that. So I'd love to, but I don't know what the chances are of that happening.
All right, so going off of D-Book, so Himes knows this, and Himes, you're gonna roll your eyes whenever I say his name because I talk about him all the time.
Oh, I don't even need to. I already know.
I'm a huge Derrick Rose fan, so like I've been rocking with him forever. I don't want to bring back memories of his Timberwolves game-winning shot against the Suns, anything like that.
That year we were tanking, so I didn't want too much.
You let him make it.
Wait, tanking.
I mean, tanking that didn't end up with Luka. So,
hey, just be happy with Dragon Bender. Oh wait.
I mean, you could go Dragon Bender. You could go. You can name endless amount of people that we drafted.
All right. So,
I'm not even gonna get into names, but
yeah. So you gotta keep the relationships there. So I just want, because I have some sort of contact with his family. I'm not going to say specific names. I don't want people to start contacting these people. Yeah. What's it like for people that the people that just idolize LeBron and people that idolize other players and all that? Just talk about kind of how natural it is in a sense of being pretty good friends with somebody that you just always watch on TV that might be like a cartoon character in your eyes until you meet them.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
what was it like being a fan of D-Book and the Suns, and the next thing you know, you're boys with Eric Bledsoe, you're boys with D-Book. Like just kind of touch on like kind of the whole concept of that.
Yeah. Okay. So, man, I followed the Suns since I don't know, since I was 7, 8, 9 years old. My parents didn't have the most money, but we lived in LA, so we didn't get the Suns games on. Or I'm sorry, we lived in San Diego, so we didn't get the Suns games. We got the LA Laker games on our TV. But I would beg my parents, please, we need to buy NBA League Pass. I need to watch the Phoenix Suns.
That's
they would
me
never
every
say
fall.
yes. They would never say yes because we didn't have the most money. So I would stay up every single night. I would go to ESPN and I would look at the bottom, the scores that come back and forth. Every freaking 5 minutes.
No, you're good.
Yeah, every 5 minutes I'd be checking Sun scores. And I just used to love the Suns. I remember I was 14 years old, freshman in high school. The Phoenix Suns lost to the LA Lakers in the Western Conference Finals. I went to school the next day crying. I had to ask the teacher to use the bathroom. I went in the stall. I was crying all day. 14 years old because the Phoenix Suns lost a playoff series. So, I mean, a huge Suns fan. I looked at these players like I don't even want to say it, but they were non-human. They were like oh my, like they walked around with halos over their head. Steve Nash, Amari Stoudemire, all these guys. And I'd never been to Phoenix, living in San Diego, so I never saw these guys in person. I'll go to Laker games, Lakers versus Suns, but Laker tickets were crazy expensive, so we'd sit far, far away. I never met any of these guys. Once I started getting a little bit bigger on YouTube, I would always talk about the Suns, always, just being a huge Suns fan. You guys of all people know the Suns, they don't have a fan base. The Phoenix Suns they're not a big market team. So they noticed me. Yeah, so they noticed me, you know, who is this crazy fan that has a lot of followers and blah, blah, blah. Eric Bledsoe reached out to me first. He followed me. So I started talking to him. D-Book came after that. He followed me, so I started talking to him. Eventually, they came down to San Diego, and we met up. When I tell you, dude, I was sweating like, oh, my gosh, dude. I was sitting – so we went paintballing here in San Diego. That's how we first met.
That's lit.
Yeah, so I get down I'm in the parking lot. I'm still in my car, and I know they're all in the building. Takes me probably like 20 minutes before I get out of my car just practicing, what am I going to say, dude? Like, what is happening? Like I told you guys, like maybe in their head, I had a lot of followers. I was some big YouTube name, but I never thought of myself like that. So in their head, they're meeting like some celebrity. In my head, I'm like, dude, oh my God. Like I was freaking out. Compare that to now. I'll text Book, you know, after a game. Yo, bro, blah, blah, blah. He'll hit me back up. I go to Phoenix. I go to his house. I don't go, you know, see people there. I go to his house. I hang out over there. He comes to San Diego. He comes to my house. I go to the games in Phoenix. I go backstage with him and his family. So it's crazy. It's literally crazy. His last 2 birthday parties, I was there. It's crazy to see, like, these are normal people. Like, these are regular people that, you know, I'll hit him up and talk to him just like I'm talking to one of my boys that I went to high school with. It's crazy how we see them when we're younger and maybe not even younger, just when we're not that up close and personal with them compared to now. You know, I'll walk into his house, yo, what's up?
Just casual.
Grab some water. Yeah, and it's crazy just because people don't think of it like that. They think these dudes are some of the biggest whatever, blah, blah. For example, Giannis and his brothers, they just, I don't know if you saw this, Brent, but his brother hit me up the other day. They're trying to do their YouTube channel. Yeah, it was on my story.
Okay.
It was a picture of him and Giannis, and they had just got their 100,000 subscriber plaque. And they tagged me. They were like, Abrawad is like catching up, or we're going to catch up soon or something. So I hit them back up. I'm like, yo, let's collab once all this is over. So now it's crazy to see. When I was younger, I'd watch these players on TV like there's some sort of like fictional characters, to now the other day, Paul George. I have contact with Paul George, and it's That's just crazy. It's actually crazy, and I never take it for granted. It's I don't know, but they are normal people. We talk about literally the same stuff that we're talking about right now. There's no, I'll talk to Book. I could talk to him for 24 hours and not even mention something about basketball. They're regular people. That's what a lot of people don't understand.
The biggest moment for me whenever I just saw like how regular these people are is I went to meet up with Himes or Alex and to like the Paul Pierce show and all that type of stuff. And then I remember on my way back, so I live in St. Louis. So I was in LAX on my way back to St. Louis and in a souvenir shop. And it was the weekend after the award show in a souvenir store. I just look over and I just see 6'5" bulky bald head. And I was like, Tuck? Is that PJ Tucker? And then I like looked. Dude has a trophy. I guess he got the award show. It has a big golden shoe on it. And then he has a Louis V bag. I was like, what other guy with the same body, build, and look has a Louis V bag and a shoe trophy? Who else would it be but PJ? And I was like, this dude's buying a neck pillow right now or something. Like he's probably getting some M&Ms.
Yeah.
But to wrap all this up, I want to touch on one last thing because we're rolling up. We probably passed the hour point. Himes.
I don't mind. It's cool.
I mean, we got him.
Right.
I mean, I'll tell you this too. Just before during that Paul Pierce show. So like, I grew as a Celtics fan. Paul Pierce was my guy.
Yeah.
My guy. And then after him, KG and Ray. And I have a special place for Rondo in my heart too, right? And Isaiah Thomas as well. But Paul Pierce was my guy. I get his jersey, signed jersey from him from the 08 season saying Celtic for life, like 6 months prior to any of this, right? I get linked up with him because he was a part of this hookah lounge here in LA. We started doing stuff and filming videos for them, building that little rapport. And then I said, hey, can we do a live show for our radio program here, right? And he was about it. And as we're talking, I'm like slowly getting past that whole nervous point, right? Where like, oh my God, this is Paul Pierce. I was watching the 2008 Finals MVP. Like, I watched this guy raise the trophy and I was crying when it happened. Like, no, that's just Paul, you know?
Yeah.
Like the same thing when we went to the UCLA runs last summer, Michael and I, my co-show host for another program, right? We walk into the gym and there's literally the entire Raptor squad. There's KD, James, Russ, all these guys playing and shooting hoops, right? Just practicing. And I remember walking into the gym and I'm standing there like this. And Michael literally has to go like this, tug me multiple times. And then I realize, oh, sorry. Like just starstruck, all of it. Like what we were saying, just like that moment where you're like, wow, holy crap. I am right here looking at this.
Yeah,
that was my moment.
So yeah, with this whole quarantine, we got, I would say 2 to 3 godsends whenever it comes to documentaries. So we got First Blessed with Tiger King, which was just our one thing to talk about for a couple weeks to make the memes about. Carol Baskin killed her husband. I don't care what you say.
Jared Krause killed her husband.
I'm going with Carol. All right. So now we got this that came out early. We got The Last Dance. Now I'm telling you, like we've been doing this for over an hour. It's gone by super fast. Talking about hours going by fast. The Last Dance, literally you blink and your 2 hours of watching that documentary is done.
Yeah.
What have your thoughts been like? I mean, I know we have 6 hours worth of stuff. What's like just what have you been taking away? Yesterday we saw Kobe, which was kind of just tough, but what have you kind of taken away from this documentary?
So me being 24 years old, I didn't really get a chance to watch Michael Jordan, especially not in his prime. So I was really excited for this because you could watch highlights on YouTube of Michael Jordan, but what are the highlights going to show? They're only going to show the good. Like they're going to show him at his top. You're not going to watch Michael Jordan go 0 for 20 in a YouTube video. I don't see that. So I was really excited to see this. Number one thing I realized is this dude was a walking dude. He was larger than life. Like you say that, like just another word. Yeah. Like looking at these documentaries is like, dude, was he Michael Jordan? People saw him as like God, bro. Like people
Larry Bird.
Jesus Christ.
Larry Bird said it. He was like, that wasn't Michael Jordan. That was God disguised as Michael Jordan.
Yeah. So like now it all makes sense why me being a little bit younger, I'm more of a sense where LeBron James is the greatest player of all time. But now after watching these documentaries, it makes sense why people are so the older people are so, no, LeBron is not the greatest player of all time. It's Michael Jordan. And it makes me realize that I was saying LeBron James without ever really seeing like just how much Michael Jordan did for the game. So it's kind of starting to make me – I don't want to –
By the way, Himes up here, he does not think LeBron's close to being the greatest of all time. So he's making that face, but keep on going. Keep on going.
I mean,
why he's doing that.
You got to think about it. I started watching basketball right when LeBron came into the league. So, this documentary it's good. Like it's really good. Obviously, seeing Kobe was emotional. Definitely seeing the Suns lose to the Bulls yesterday night was emotional. Especially considering we have 0 rings. But then again, it's fine. I wasn't born yet, so I'd rather have us get our championship when I'm here. No, but for real though, Michael Jordan is definitely it's really opened my eyes. I never thought it was like this. Like I said, I've always seen Michael Jordan highlights. I've seen, the shot versus the Cavs and the Jazz. I didn't know he was like this. So
I thought what was dope was like he had that coach Doug Collins, and how he was like, "I'm gonna drop 50 for you tonight," and he just goes out and does it. And like, there's stories like Kobe, just because he was on the documentary with Kobe. Like, there's stories. I think Caron Butler was saying how he was like, they beat the Lakers in Staples Center. Kobe, supposedly Caron Butler and the Wizards like celebrated too much. And so Kobe was like, all right, whenever I go to the Wizards arena, I'm going to drop. I think he just dropped 40 at will.
Yeah.
Caron Butler said I think it was maybe 50. He hit a shot and said 48. He hit another shot, said 46, counted his way all the way down to 0 from 50.
Yesterday's episodes definitely made me realize how much Kobe's game was modeled after Michael Jordan. I mean, they have the same style of play, not to mention the competitiveness. They definitely Kobe modeled his game after Michael Jordan, and I never realized that till yesterday's episode. So it's definitely been fun to watch, and it's really opened my eyes to more of an open debate on who the greatest player of all time is, which I don't ever think we'll get an answer, because the LeBron fans will never get off his case, and the Jordan fans will never get off his, and then you have the Kobe fans, so we'll never get no amount of footage or any stats are ever going to make those people change their mind.
Look, you're 24, right?
Yeah.
I'm 24, and I know Michael Jordan is the greatest of all time. LeBron James isn't even the greatest small forward of all time, but I'm just going to throw that out there.
Well, that's a whole another hour. And
I'm just saying. I just need to throw my 2 cents. I was sitting here just like touching my face and like rubbing my hands, just like.
Whenever I come to LA, we can have that debate, dude.
Yeah, it's just different eras, and that's what I hate, that you can't compare, because you have like the LeBron people saying, oh, well, if he played against this competition, he would drop 40. Then you have Jordan saying, well, if I played in this time era where you get these calls every single play, he would drop 50. Like you can never compare, and that's what I hate. We'll just never have an answer of who the best is. But if this makes any sense, I never had LeBron as the greatest until that 3-1 comeback a couple years ago.
I think it's all about what you value. So if you value winning, you're going to go say maybe Bill Russell, or you're going to go Michael. Or if you value longevity, if you value longevity, then you're going to go with LeBron. Like if you value defense, you're going to go with somebody else. Like it's so subjective at the end of the day, but like there's always that thing. It's like, let's not compare greats. Let's just admire their greatness. But with all that being said, man, I'm happy you came on. This has been huge for me because I mean this is my first episode, and right off the bat I got somebody that that I've been following and actually messing with for a while, and that's like my goal with this podcast, and not just to have random people that I just want to like talk to. Like I want to have people I genuinely like have followed, and I'll definitely keep in touch with you. Man, maybe a part 2 like next year, like travel out and we do it in person, like microphones, everything.
Yeah. No, for sure. I appreciate it. Like I said, bro, I've never done a podcast. I get my management team all the time, yo, they want to do a show with you, yo. And I'm just like, nah, doesn't really benefit me. But then when you reached out, I scrolled up to our messages. I'm like, dude, this guy's been rocking with me since maybe when I used to post those basketball videos that I said nobody liked. So I'm going to give this guy a shot. I'm going to help him out. I'm going to get on the show. And it doesn't hurt me. It doesn't take up any of my time. I'm not going to film until a little bit later anyway. So it was fun. Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, I appreciate it so much, dude. And I'll make sure, once we get all the like little ads and all that stuff going, I'll send it your way. I'll make sure to tell you whenever everything's, published and posted. But this has been a pretty epic first episode of The Sixth Sense. So thank you for tuning in, and hopefully I can hear from you more in the future. So I appreciate your time a lot, bro.
Of course. Thank you guys.